there, Pearl. I was just wondering if you're home right now. Did you already go out to the store for the day?
Oh, hi, Harriet. No, I was actually just about to go there right now. Did you need me to pick you up anything while I'm there?
Well, I actually just wanted to let you know that I just went out to a steakhouse for lunch with some friends. I heard that you were going to be preparing some kind of beef dish for dinner tonight, so I wanted to tell you to think of something else. Obviously, I don't want to have to eat the same kind of food twice in the same day.
Oh, I see. Okay then, I understand. Thank you for telling me.
Oh, I'm so sorry to have to change your plans at the last minute like this. I was just thinking that having to eat something so heavy again would just do my stomach no good. I hope that you understand.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. I can make something light for dinner since you're already feeling full. Maybe just some soup and a salad or something like that? I actually found a really nice soup recipe the other day.
Yes, I think something light would be best for me tonight. But not a soup and salad. That's not even a meal. It's like an appetizer.
So, nothing too heavy, but no super salads. Is there anything in particular that you would like me to make for you? I think it might be easier if you just tell me what you're in the mood for instead of having me guess as to what you might be looking for.
I was thinking that we could order sushi. Oh, or maybe that sushi that comes without the rice and is just fish? I forgot what it's called. But I think just some nice raw fish is just what my stomach needs. Actually, scratch the last bit. Do get the rice.
So, would you want me to order this for takeout so that I can pick it up after the store?
You can't be serious. You really think that I'm going to take any chances with my stomach by eating some delivery sushi? Oh, no. It's just rice and fish. Surely you can make some at home?
Okay then, I guess I can try learning how to make sushi for dinner tonight. I'm sorry for suggesting otherwise.
Oh, Pearl, it's not like I'm upset with you or anything like that. You don't need to keep apologizing to me. You're making me sound like some sort of bad mother-in-law.
No, I'm sorry. I understand what you mean about your stomach. It's just that you always seem to prefer having food delivered, so I thought that it would be the same this time. I'm glad you told me otherwise so that I know now.
Well then, I'm glad I was able to clear up any confusion you might have been having. I know that sometimes I probably come off as demanding and needy, you know. But I want you to know that I am really thankful for all the care that you show towards me. I mean, you and my son have barely even been married, and you agreed to come live with me.
But the pleasure really is all ours. I just hope that we're not getting in your way since we moved in.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that at all. I just hope that you and my little Dean can get along well now that you're husband and wife.
Of course. I don't think you'll have to worry about that at all, Harriet.
Although, if I can just make one last little comment, I think that you don't have the best memory in the world.
I think you're probably right about that.
So maybe you should make notes of the things that I ask you, so that when you're taking care of the house during the day, you can be sure that you're not forgetting anything. I know that is a lot of new information, but you would do the same thing when starting a new job, right? Just take notes about how things work and what order to do them in and things like that, right?
Yes, I suppose that is something I would do if I were starting a new job somewhere.
To be honest, since I saw that you hadn't been taking notes, I was worried that you might not be taking married life all that seriously. I was wondering if you hated me for telling you to do so many things and how to do them.
I'm really sorry for any confusion, but that was never the case. You can trust me on that, Harriet. I'll buy a notepad at the store and be sure to use it from now on.
Please do that, and thank you so much for understanding where I'm coming from. In that case, I'll see you at dinner. I'm looking forward to your sushi.
I'll see you then. Get home safe.
Pearl, did you happen to leave the house without starting the laundry machine? I know that it's your birthday and you wanted to go out and spend the day with Dean, but that doesn't mean you can just ignore all your chores, you know?
I'm not ignoring anything, Harriet. I did a load of laundry last night, actually.
So you washed the laundry last night and then used the dryer to dry them?
Yes, I moved the clothes from the washer to the dryer. Is there something wrong with that?
Ah, I thought I told you I wanted you to air dry our clothes from now on.
I know that, but that's why I didn't wash your clothes last night. I set them aside so that I could wash them and hang them up today when I get back home.
Are you kidding me? So you purposefully didn't wash my clothes but washed everyone else's?
I'm sorry, but I had plans for today that I wasn't about to put off. Dean and I are spending the night at a hotel out of town, but when I get back home tomorrow, I'll wash them right away. There really wasn't much of your clothes anyways, so I don't think that it'll take too long.
So then I suppose you think it's okay for me to just be waiting that long before I have clean clothes again? Oh, honestly, do you ever think beyond the next 5 minutes after you act?
I'm sorry, Harriet. I really didn't think it would be this big of a deal for you.
I knew I never should have let my son marry such an airheaded ditz. Look, I know you said that you never went to college because your family couldn't afford it, but I think it might have been because you weren't smart enough to get in. I suppose this means that any grandchildren I get from you are going to be useless as well.
Please don't talk to me like that. I'm not a child and I know very well how to take care of myself.
You may think that you're clever, but you do know the Dean has a very smart old friend, don't you?
You wouldn't happen to be referring to Tina, would you?
Yes, that's right. She's a brilliant girl who went to an Ivy League school and is working abroad now. I hear that she's still single, though. To be honest, I thought Dean and her were dating this whole time.
You really thought that?
Yeah, in fact, ever since they were little, I always thought that the two of them would end up together. So I'm sure you can imagine my shock when he brings you home and introduces you as his girlfriend to me. And I was even more shocked when I found out that you never went to college and are working some dead-end office job. I really have no idea how you sunk your claws into my little boy. Much less how you tricked him into marrying you.
Well, Harriet, I don't know what else to say except that I'm sorry I'm not the perfect wife that you want me to be for Dean. But I also want you to know that I work very hard to try and please you.
You're always apologizing and doing whatever I say, but are you actually growing as a person? I mean, how can I trust what you say when you do something like separate my laundry and then don't even clean it? Clearly, you barely ever actually listen to what I'm trying to say to you to tell you what to do. Ha! Here I thought having you two live with me would make my life easier. But instead, you're just giving me more things to stress about. I knew that you weren't the brightest girl, but I had no idea that you were going to be so useless.
I'm really sorry if I've done anything to upset you, Harriet. Actually, I think that Dean wants to call you and have a chat.
Dean wants to talk to me on the phone? Well, whatever about?
Actually, he kind of saw some of these messages that we've been sending to each other.
Wait a second. What? You've been showing my son our private conversations? Oh, you really are much worse than I thought you were.
I didn't go out of my way to show him or anything, it's just that we're together, and he was wondering who I was spending so much time texting.
Well, I am very sorry for disturbing you on your birthday, but I just had to get that off my chest. I just felt that if I didn't warn you about how I felt, that you would never change.
I understand, Harriet. Thank you for telling me about how you feel in regards to all of this.
And you can tell Dean that I'm out running errands and don't have time to talk to him on the phone. Anyways, I hope you two have a good rest of your day. Pearl, I just wanted to let you know that I'll be home in an hour.
Got it. Sounds good. Thank you for letting me know.
But it really is just such a shame, don't you think?
I'm sorry? What's a shame? I don't think I quite understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about my son, of course. You do know that after the two of you got back from your birthday trip, that he was just furious with me, don't you? He was saying all kinds of things about how he thought I was bullying you. And he hasn't said a word to me since doing all of that.
Oh, I see. Yes, I suppose that really is unfortunate.
But this morning, I asked him if he was still upset with me, and he said it didn't matter anymore. So clearly, my son has just run out of any love he might have had for you.
Do you really think that's why I gave you that answer?
That's right. He's not on your side any longer. He must have finally realized how ridiculous it was to accuse me of bullying you. Obviously, he saw that all I was trying to do was teach you how to be a better wife. Surely a mother-in-law is allowed to do that.
I suppose you can do whatever you feel like, really.
And that means I want you to listen to every little thing that I have to tell you. Do you understand? And if you don't do everything that I say, then you can just move out of the house.
You want me to move out of this house?
Well, of course. I mean, why would we feel the need to keep such a useless woman around if she isn't going to do what we tell her to do?
I see. And you really think that this is the best way to go about all of this?
I don't think. I know. And don't go running to Dean about any of this. He doesn't want to hear any more complaints from you at all. Personally, I want nothing more than to kick you out right now. But you're lucky I'm so kind.
You know, I was thinking of just walking away from all of this myself.
You mean you aren't going to do as I say? Do you really want to get thrown out of here that badly?
I really don't care what you do to me at all anymore. After all, I don't really see any reason why I should have to listen to you at this point.
Oh, I see what's going on here. You're just changing your strategy. You think you can just play chicken with me since my son isn't on your side anymore. I'm afraid that simple plan won't work on me. I don't have the patience to play these games with you.
I'm not playing any games at all, and if anyone is trying to force anyone to do anything, it's you.
Do you really think this is any kind of way to be treating your mother-in-law, Pearl?
As of tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the bare minimum of work around the house. And you can take care of cleaning your own room, doing your own laundry, and making your own food.
Do you really expect me to do all of those things for myself? Oh, when you get back home, I'm going to give you such a stern talking to. Don't you realize that you don't have anyone on your side anymore? I'll teach you to talk that way to your elders. Pearl, you tell me where you are right this instant.
I actually don't really feel like doing that.
You're the wife. You can't just leave the house and not tell anyone where you've gone. Ugh, and to think that you're not back home in time to make me lunch. Back in my day, women never acted like this.
Well, that sure explains a lot.
And just what is with this attitude that you've started taking with me? You don't listen to what I tell you, and I feel like I'm being completely ignored. Is this some kind of strike or something? Do you think I'm going to give in before you do?
It's nothing like that, and I really don't care at all what you do at this point.
Well, if that's the case, then get back here and take care of the house already. Just how long are you going to act like a spoiled child not doing any chores? I asked you to hang up all my clothes again yesterday, and it still hasn't been done? Why aren't you obeying me?
Oh no, what's gonna happen? Are you gonna throw me out?
I have half a mind, too. I even understand that you and Dean haven't been talking to each other that much. It's clearly just a matter of time before the two of you break up. So just save us all the trouble and leave already.
But I've already left. I packed my things and moved out.
Wait, what? You've moved out already? What do you mean by that?
I mean that I packed up my things and moved out. It's that simple.
I have no idea what nonsense you're spouting.
I mean that I did just as you said. I finished moving all of my things from the house this morning. I'd say it's been fun living with you, but it really hasn't.
So you've really left the house and don't plan on coming back at all?
That's right. Dean and I both moved out and we're going to live together away from you.
Both you and my son have moved out of the house?
That's what I just typed, yes.
But why would my son agree to go with you? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Really? You still don't get it? We're married. He's my husband. Of course he would come with me.
But I still don't understand. I thought the two of you weren't even talking these days. I thought Dean was on my side in all of this.
He stopped talking to you about this because he realized that there's no use in trying to talk any sense into you.
Well, what about all the luggage? Surely you haven't moved everything out of the house, right? I still see your things here, which must mean that you've been lying this whole time.
Well, obviously moving all our stuff is going to take a few days. We moved all our stuff and have been taking it to our new place while you've been out of the house.
This can't be happening. How can you two just move out of the house without even talking to me about it first?
Maybe because you've said and done horrible things to me, all while justifying them as being for my own good? You never once stopped to think if what you were doing was right or fair or excessive. And now you're just upset and facing the consequences of your actions. Dean and I have tried being patient with you, but we're both at our limits and can't take it anymore. It's obvious that there's no use in even trying to talk about any of this anymore.
And that's why the two of you are going to leave me?
Pretty much. We can't stand living with you for another minute. So please, don't bother reaching out to us for anything ever again.
Wait a second. You mean I can't even talk to you? You're just going to cut me out of your lives entirely?
That's right.
Please, surely I didn't do anything to deserve this, right? Besides, you know that ever since my husband died, Dean is the only family that I have left. What am I supposed to do without my son?
That's something you'll have to figure out for yourself, I'm afraid. Because, quite frankly, Dean feels absolutely betrayed over the way you've been treating me.
Okay, let's just all calm down and talk about this rationally, please.
I am being very calm right now.
I really was only being so strict with you because I wanted you to become a better wife for my son. He's the only family I have. Surely you can understand that, right? I just wanted to make sure that he had someone who could be there for him the way that I was when I'm gone. Is that really so bad?
That isn't bad. What's bad is the way you were treating me and trying to achieve that. You were totally bullying me.
Oh, I wasn't doing anything like that at all.
You made me responsible for taking care of everything around the house, and you even threw away my cooking just because you didn't like it. And you poured coffee all over the floor as soon as I had finished cleaning it. You just made messes for me to clean up for no good reason at all.
But I was giving you a chance to learn how to do them even better. I mean, you said yourself that your memory is bad, so I was teaching you through repetition.
And for the record, Dean says that you overseason your food, and that's why he asked me to adjust my cooking so that it wasn't so tough to eat.
You mean that Dean thinks my cooking is bad?
That's right. But you never gave me any kind of credit for anything. Instead, you just always put me down for not going to college. But you never even went to college yourself.
But things were different back in my day.
That doesn't mean you can insult me all you like. Who do you think you are looking down at me when we're no different at all? I worked so hard to try and make things right so that you would approve of me, but you never did.
I was just helping to train you so that you would finally be good enough.
I doubt that anything I did would have ever been enough for you. But now I realize that I don't need your approval to feel good about my marriage anymore. This is just about Dean and I, and you don't have a part in this any longer. I was just wasting my time trying to impress you.
But you know that I wasn't really ever trying to be mean to you, right?
Are you still harping on that point? Is that all you have to say for yourself?
But it's true. I was just trying to give you chances to prove yourself to me.
You threatened to kick me out of my house and told me that my husband had turned against me.
Oh, that was just a test. But I really didn't think that you'd react to it all like this.
Well, then it appears that you've just made mistake after mistake. But that isn't my problem.
Well, then I'm sorry. Please, just tell me where you're going to live and I'll go apologize right now.
I don't want your apology and I'm not telling you where I live.
I'll do all the housework. I'll do my fair share. Just please, don't do this.
No, this is what you wanted and I'm giving it to you. It's too late to back out now. Harriet continued to blow up my phone, trying to beg for my forgiveness, but Dean and I just ignored her. Apparently, Harriet got so upset that she reached out to that old friend of Dean's and tried to get her involved in a plot to steal Dan away from me. But when she reached out to Dean's old friend, she found out that she was already dating someone in the country she was living in. After that all fell apart, she went back to blowing up my phone, begging for forgiveness. After being informed about what she was up to by Dean's old friend, we realized that Harriet was too far gone to be helped. We agreed that she was never going to be offering a real apology and would only continue to interfere in our lives. Finally, we decided to block her on all platforms and thankfully haven't heard from her since. Dean and I are very happy in our new home away from Harriet and have been enjoying all the peace and quiet that we've had since moving out. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Is this Alicia? Who the heck do you think you are? I'm not going to let you get away with this. Pardon me? I'm sorry, but who are you? Brianna Moore. You're seeing Jonathan Moore, right? I'm his wife. Pardon me? Jonathan's wife? That's right. You're sleeping with my husband. That's adultery. You know what that means, right? Adultery? This is all a little sudden, isn't it? Jonathan is my husband. You're trying to steer a married man. Don't play dumb with me. I'm not trying to play dumb with you. But to accuse me of something like this so suddenly, I really don't understand. You must be pretty stupid then. Let me explain things to you one more time. You're dating Jonathan. I'm his wife. He's my husband. If you don't believe me, why don't you just ask Jonathan? Jonathan was quite surprised when I told him I knew too. But he came clean once I told him I knew. There was no denying it. I see. In fact, Jonathan just messaged me about this right now too. Of course. He told you his wife found out, didn't he? Yeah, that's what he said. So, you know what you've done, right? Well, that's what he said, but... Sleeping with another woman's husband? You're trying to take my man. So I'm going to get even with you. Get even with me? Before doing anything like that, I think you should know that I wasn't even seeing your husband like that. What? Don't give me that. Do you mean you've stopped sleeping with him? Surely you could come up with a better lie than that. We just started contacting each other recently. We've met up a number of times, but it was only as friends. I wouldn't say we were even dating. The agreement was to meet as friends first. Maybe he thought it was more than that, but... You've been contacting him through text messages, right? I've read through your whole chat history. It's pretty obvious to me that you two are cheating. I've read the proof. Don't try to deny it. Maybe he calls it seeing each other, but only in the literal sense of the word. Like I said, we've met up, but it was only to go out for a drink or to watch a movie. And I had no idea that he had a wife. I'm not interested in whether you thought he had a wife or not. You're lucky I haven't called my lawyer yet. You'd better be willing to pay me, though, or else I will take you to court. You know I could sue you for compensation money because of this. What? Sue me for compensation money? Of course. You slept with my husband. I can sue you for that. That's the risk you take when you knowingly sleep with someone who's married. You knew that, didn't you? You keep saying sleeping with, though. I told you I wasn't even dating him. And the fact that he was married, I had no idea. You can't prove that. And all those lovey-dovey messages you two were sending each other? It's obvious what you were doing. Lovey-dovey messages? That never happened. And besides, I met your husband from a dating app. It wasn't an app for meeting up or one-night stands either. It was on an app for people looking for marriage partners. So if a married man signs up for an app looking for people who want to get married, why would anyone assume they're already married? I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care about any of that anyway. You'd better pay me my money. After all, you slept with my husband. It's only obvious you'd have to pay compensation money if you did something like that. It affects more than just you. Think about how I feel about this. Regardless of that, your husband joined a dating app out of his own free will. He wrote that he was single and looking for a wife. That's the only reason I started contacting him in the first place. Anything that happens after that, I can't be held accountable for his actions. Stop trying to make excuses. I don't care what you say. Jonathan is a married man, and you started seeing him. You can't talk your way out of this. Jonathan has already confessed to it. You'll just have to accept it. He confessed to what? Meeting me and having a drink? Meeting me and watching a movie? That's all we've ever done. Did Jonathan say any more than that? Yes, he did. He said he cheated on me with you. He's admitted to it. So I'm gonna make you pay me compensation money. What you're saying is absurd. If you're not going to pay me now, then I'll just sue you and get the money from you in court. You're going to sue me? That's right. You're saying you're not going to pay me. That means you're trying to run from this. So I'll just take you to court instead. Just calm down a bit. I didn't sleep with Jonathan. And I didn't know he was married anyway. I've explained this, haven't I? Shut up. If you don't want me to sue you for this, you'd better just pay me directly. Are you threatening me? What? Threatening? Yeah, you're threatening me. You're trying to scare me into giving you money, aren't you? Threatening is a bit of an exaggeration. I have every right to get compensation money from you. I'm just requesting it from you. And I'm answering all of your questions about this. If you're saying that Jonathan is having an affair with me, when I know we've never done anything, what are you basing this on? It's obvious from your chat history. Give me an example of what I said that shows I'm sleeping with him. You were asking him things like what day and time you two should meet up. Things like that. Oh, so basic things that any two people would commonly ask each other. Shut up. Are you saying you're not going to pay me compensation money? You're saying you want me to take you to court. You want to pay all the lawyer fees on top of the compensation money. I'm serious about this. What do you mean you're serious about it? I'm not going to let a woman get away with this. Not for trying to steal my husband. I'll never forgive you. Not till I get what you owe me. Pay me. If you don't, I'll even call your company and tell everyone you work with what kind of person you are. So basically, you're threatening me, aren't you? Just shut up and pay me. Do you want to be sued? If you want to sue me, go ahead and sue me. Huh? So you're gonna be like this, huh? I know you work for a good company, Jonathan told me. So you want to get fired over all this? If you just pay me the compensation money, we could settle this out of court, and I wouldn't have to make trouble for you at your office. Well, if you're trying to do this, doesn't that mean Jonathan would get fired too? What? Jonathan get fired? What are you talking about? Well, if you think I can get fired for it, why wouldn't he? I know what you're doing here. You and Jonathan. You're both just trying to get money from me, aren't you? What do you mean? You told your husband to register for the dating app. I bet you told him if he finds a good woman with money, that he should try to have an affair with her. And you'd try to get compensation money from her for doing it. That's what's going on here, isn't it? That's not it at all. Jonathan went and had an affair on his own. I had nothing to do with it. And I'm not forgiving him either. And I'm definitely not forgiving you. I see what's going on. Okay, those messages you sent to me, the ones where you were threatening me to get me to pay you, I'm gonna go show them to the police and see what they have to say about it. What? The cops? Why? I told you we could settle this out of court. The fact that you're so eager to settle this out of court, it seems a bit too fishy for me. You guys are running a con here, aren't you? You're trying to get money. Your whole aim is to get compensation money from people. You're using the dating app to find potential victims, aren't you? We wouldn't do anything like that. Look, I don't know what you're talking about, so let's just get this matter settled outside of court. We can do this in cash, so let's start discussing an appropriate amount. You know you're in the wrong here, so just accept it and give in. I'm not giving in. I didn't sleep with your husband. That wasn't the reason I met with him in the first place. We've never gone that far. And yet you try to threaten me by telling me I did something that I know I didn't do? You guys are scaring me now with taking things this far. So I'm going to the police and filing a report. What? You're reporting me? Stop messing around. Filing a report is only going to be bad for you, isn't it? And I'm sure it's going to get you fired, too. What? My company won't fire me for something like this. Besides, none of this is my fault anyway. I've done nothing wrong. How can you be so sure of that? That's a stupid question. I know if I've slept with someone or not. That's how I'm so sure of it. I know you're just trying to scam me. What? This isn't a scam. I thought everything was a little bit suspicious. Jonathan seemed a bit too pushy with everything. Luckily, I kept refusing to go any further than I did. Oh, and he kept wanting to take pictures of us together, too. Everywhere we went, he wanted to take pictures of it. And he tried to make sure I was in all of his selfies. If you read our messages, you'll see. He tried to make everything sound really intimate, no matter how small it was. And clearly, you could see my messages didn't have that tone at all. Not to mention how often he messaged me for no reason whatsoever. Now that I think about it, it's obvious he was trying to make it look like we were more than we really were. I guess he was desperate to make it look like that. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Stop acting like this. Do you have any idea how I feel being cheated on? Honestly, I don't, but either way, I wasn't sleeping with your husband. So you've got nothing to worry about. Shut up. Just pay me my money. If you just pay me the money, we can end this all right here. I'll send Jonathan over to pick up the money from you tomorrow. Just pay me $1,000. That's pretty darn cheap for compensation money, don't you think? I wouldn't know about that. But I plan on going to the police about this anyway. If you keep messaging me trying to get me to pay, you'll just be wasting your time. I'm not doing anything until the police have looked into this. Why are you going to the police? I have every right to get compensation money from you. I'm only requesting that you pay me what I deserve. What right are you talking about? It's my right. Because you slept with my husband. I can sue you for that. I'm supposed to get money. I'm not doing anything wrong. You're supposed to pay me. I'm not threatening you. If I don't ask you to pay me the money, how else am I supposed to get you to pay it? Well, maybe if you had some proof? You could prove it to a lawyer or judge and get the money the legal way. But you're telling me that I slept with Jonathan when I know I didn't? And like I said, even if I had no idea he was married. So you wouldn't be awarded any money. I met him on a dating app for people looking for marriage partners, and he told me he wasn't married. So even if I had slept with him, you'd lose in court. And on top of that, I can prove everything I've said. You can't prove any of your outrageous claims. So I have no obligation to pay anyone any compensation money. What? Is that how it works? Yes. But I'm still gonna report this to the police, because I'm pretty sure you're trying to pull a scam right now. So, you'd better get ready for a police investigation. Wait, just hold on. I get it. I guess you legally don't have to pay me? I didn't know that. I misunderstood the law. Huh? It seems Jonathan feels really bad about what happened here, too. I guess I can forgive you this time. You didn't know he was married. I won't make you pay me anything. No, it's no problem. You don't have to apologize to me. You can explain everything to the police. What are you talking about? I told you I'm going to let this go. You don't have to pay me. I'm admitting I was wrong. Let's just be adults about this and let it go. It was just a big misunderstanding. This whole conversation is going to be proof of your threats and scheme to get money from me. So I'm just going to take it to the police and let them decide what they want to do. Please, don't do that. I told you the issue is resolved. You don't need to do anything rash. I understand I was wrong. You don't have to pay me. Let's just end it here. Huh? I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. You were obviously trying to pull a scam. I'm going to report it to the police. It's the right thing to do. Why do you have to take it that far? I told you I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Well, you've already taken it this far with me. So there's a good chance you've done this before. You've probably threatened, scammed, and stole from other people in the past. I've never done anything like that. Please tell Jonathan not to use dating apps as ways to try to scam or hurt innocent people. Please, just wait. I'll tell Jonathan that. None of that has anything to do with me, though. It was all him. You've already told me your full name, and I have your contact info now that you've messaged me. So I'll be sure to give all of that to the police as well. And Jonathan's picture was clear on his profile, and I've already taken a screenshot of it. And where he states on his profile that he's unmarried and looking for a marriage partner. So the police should have no problem finding the correct guy and verifying your scam. I'm sorry for what we did. We'll never do anything like this again. So please don't go to the police. I'm begging you. I never wanted to do anything bad. You didn't want to do anything bad, yet you deliberately tried to scam someone? Oh, that's just scary. I'm so sorry. You can apologize all you want. At this point, I'm not going to let this go. You tried to scare someone into giving you money. So I'm afraid you're going to have to pay the consequences. You and your lovely husband. After that, Alicia went to the police and told them what happened. They advised her to file an official police report so they could investigate further and possibly charge the couple. After filing the report, the police started their investigation. They found out that Mr. and Mrs. Moore had done this same scam on a few other people. It turns out some of the people actually did end up paying them money. The police arrested Jonathan and Brianna Moore, and enough evidence was gathered to build a good case against the couple. After being taken to court for their crimes, the Moores were forced to pay back all the money they had taken from their other victims, as well as many additional fines for their actions. In the end, they ended up having to pay back a lot more money than they ever made from their scams. I guess it really shows that crime just doesn't pay.